The 19th of June 2025, just a brief thing on the war. We are in an awful bad situation with the war in the Middle East and in Ukraine. Just to let you know what's taking place. The Israelis are bombing Iran, which is not an adjoining country. Syria is in the middle of it. And so is Jordan. And the Iranians are fighting back and they're bombing Tel Aviv. They're not bombing Jerusalem, apparently. They're bombing Tel Aviv. Well, Jerusalem would be a holy city for Muslims as well, you see. So they're bombing Tel Aviv and other military installations. And George Galloway says that the Israelis have installed military infrastructure underneath hospitals to stop them being bombed. That's what he says. I don't know, is that right? Now, the Israelis want Trump now to join in and bomb Iran. And don't forget, they're always on about them going nuclear. Wasn't Saddam Hussein supposed to be going nuclear and they invaded him and he had no nuclear at all? Everyone seems to be going nuclear. However, the threat from a nuclear weapon on Israel is severe if they did manage to one. I'd even say a dirty bomb. If they put nuclear material in a bomb and spread it around Tel Aviv, it'd do a lot of damage. Anyway, they want Trump in. Trump is dithering here and there. A big lump of Trump's cabinet desperately wants to bomb Iran. Don't forget there's a whole war machine that was always there, goes back 80, 90 years, and they want to sharpen their knives and get their stuff sold. And meanwhile, it's supposed to be that J.D. Vance doesn't want it. He says, we got elected against war, and now we're going to war. Now, it's supposed to be that 70% of the American population are strongly against war. 15% don't care, and the rest are for a war. In other words, war is deeply unpopular. Now, anyway, Trump is in this dilemma. Now, he's ordered the people of Tehran to get out, and I genuinely saw footage which I'm tending to believe, and you have to allow me a wee bit of consideration. I can't be everywhere. I'm doing the best I can. But I personally saw a video in which they're all cleared out. And some says the big lads and the big military men are all cleared out of Tehran. Now, this thing about the bunker buster bomb America has, they have only 8 of them. And someone rightly commented, it's not all that it's cracked up to be. I don't give a damn what anyone says. You'll not go too far down in the ground with a bomb. I don't care what it's made of. Because I know of no material, and don't forget I liked a bit of engineering, you know, and there's no material that will stay intact going down through the ground, concrete, reinforced concrete, rubble, sand, and all of that. So I think it's totally overrated. Some say if they could drop one down, it'll go down a bit, and then drop another one down, it'll go down through the same hole and do damage. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But that seems to be what they're shaping up to. Trump is in two minds, and I'd say it's eating at him. It's a difficult one. This has buried many of the careers of people before. Kennedy was going to bring out peace with Russia, and the minute he was going to do that, they killed him. No doubt about it. It's the war machine that killed him. Bobby Kennedy was going to do the same. He was whipped out too. Trump was on the same racket, and he was tried to be whipped. And Netanyahu says it was Iran that tried to kill Trump, and I do not agree. I say that is baloney, BB. That is codswallop. The people that tried to take out Trump were the war machine, the neocons, and the pro-Israel, because they knew that Kamala Harris would probably go to war, but that Trump would think differently and maybe negotiate. However, I think that they have swung Trump round to attacking. And J.D. Vance has been against it. And it would seem to me that J.D. Vance knows that he could be the next candidate for presidency. So if Trump gets bogged down and he loses confidence and all that, J.D. wants to have a clean set of hands. He wants to say, I'm the proper man to keep you out of war. So I'd say that's what's going on there. Now, if this becomes a protracted war, some says Iran is beaten. I'm not so sure. But one thing I do believe about Iran, those Hezbollahs in Lebanon, those Hamases in Gaza, and the Houthis in Yemen, they're abandoning Iran. I think Iran has lost the ability to support them, and I think Iran is kind of on its own. Moreover, I don't think that's any good to them. But one thing I do think, Russia is probably going to let it go. If Iran loses, it'll come under the influence of the West. But Iran might not lose. It could more than likely an old drawn-out war like the Ukraine, going on while we're alive. That's probably what's going to happen. Maybe they'll crush the Iranian regime completely. But China has a railway line to Iran, and China has a big interest in Iran. And I think China might help in some way. Putin might not get involved, but that they'll try and bog down the United States and Israel there. Now, there are commentators that say Israel itself is finished, that nobody wants to fight for them, and the young men won't go in and join the army to kill the Gazians. This is all me going by what I can tell you. My job here is to bring you up to speed. I can't predict the future. But one unbelievable bit of fun happened. There was a G7 meeting in which that's G8 less Russia in Canada. Trump went over. Zelensky was a bit late. He was heading over. He was going to tell Trump, I'll tell you. You're going to give him another lecture. Because Trump is pulling away he's losing interest completely. Because his career will not be judged. Nothing he does in Ukraine is going to fix his career now, his legacy. And he's now trying to build a career in Iran. We'll see how that'll go. His domestic career is good. I support him on the domestic career. But if he loses on the other, his domestic career mightn't be much good. Presidents of the United States have a serious problem balancing domestic, that's the home front, and the international front. Now, Trump went down and he was saying some old thing or other. I don't know what it was about. I don't know what it was about. He didn't reverse the Paris Climate Accord pullout anyway. So that's no good. He didn't do much on net zero, the I know. He signed an agreement with Starmer on trade, and the blooming documents fell on the ground and Starmer picked them up. They hadn't in the package right in Canada. Anyway, he gave Starmer great praise, but he made a caustic remark about Macron. He called him some name or other, I can't think in a minute, post underneath. So the bottom line is Zelensky got on his plane and he was going to fly to the G7 in Canada, and Trump packed his bags and went home. He said, I have to deal with the war. So when Zelensky got over and got off the plane, Trump was gone. And the big plus about this is the EU doesn't know what to do. They are fuming. They have no friend in America at all. Trump is not going to bother with them. They're not going to help him with the Middle East. And he won't have the weapons to give to Ukraine anyway. And so Putin is going to quietly acquiesce, or that's not the right word. It is seize anyway, or take possession of. Not acquiesce, it's sequestrate. It's a big name on it anyway. And it doesn't matter. But he's going to slowly take over the whole lot. And the Europe is now in the position of having to reverse all its climate stuff and build an army and build weapons, and they haven't got a hope. They haven't got a hope. So we're getting there slowly but surely with the destruction, which is my dream and aim, is to destroy the European Union. We'll see you back, so folks. So have I dealt with that reasonably enough? I'm only trying to bring you up to speed, because you can't believe anything you see. You put on one YouTube video, Iran are winning, put on the other one, Israel is winning, and everyone's winning and everyone's losing. Where do you stand? It's all up in the air. I know that country fairly well. I was never there, but I was in Oman. And it's burning hot. And you look and you see mountains away in the distance, and they're red hot. There's no grass, nothing. You might see a bit of grass where there's water. You see an odd old camel and her calf out eating the bushes, and there'd be nails on them, like they're spikes, and they can eat them. And an odd place, there's a wadi, there's a river coming out of the mountain, and then there's homes built around that. But the climate is like this. It's like this early in the morning. It's hotter than this, but really, really lovely. That's why there's so much wars. It's so easy to live there. Once you have a little bit to eat, like you have no heating bills, you have very little. and they love the car, all Toyota cars, all white Toyotas. And they have good enough lifestyles there. I think they're better lifestyles if they had our way in the West. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure all these old funny religions are a good idea. But anyway, that's the story. I don't know, has Iran the capable of having a nuclear bomb? I don't think they have. And what would be a good idea here if Iran and Trump would come up with something? Oh yeah, I meant to tell you folks, there was 2 top Iranian security officials invited to a meeting in the United Nations building in New York. And they were to meet J.D. Vance and some other fella, some other security man. Anyway, my advice is don't go. Because while Trump and J.D. Vance won't kill them, I don't believe any 2 security officials can fly safely to New York and attend that and fly home again. They'll be going over and it'll be, boo. It'll be like Pagodian. Oh, they had hand grenades on board. They'd be very foolish to fly there. And I'd suggest Ireland would be a good place to meet. I don't think anyone would take them out in Ireland. But the problem in Ireland, there's no more hotels. All the hotels are taken up by migrants. They're all full of migrants. So I don't know, would you get a place? You might get the house in the Phoenix Park, family house. Maybe that'd do. I don't know. But there's no, the tourist industry dead in Ireland. So we'll see you anyway, folks, back. That's just to bring you up to speed. Comment underneath. Don't eat me alive. I'm not saying I know it all. I'm just trying to bring you up to speed on what's happening. We're in a very tense situation. But I find it striking. Like, I find it hard to believe. Like, the roads out of Tehran is packed. Where are the poor Tibbet? Where are they going? Cars going everywhere, like it is. Now, there's others who'll say, wouldn't it be great if we got rid of the regime and get in a Western favour type of Shah thing or something more modern? And indeed, I think that I wouldn't like to live under a theocracy, a Muslim state. I wouldn't be gone on it. But I'd nearly rather a Western state than that. But when they get the Western state, they might have a lot of the problems that we have as well. So it mightn't be all a bed of roses. However, that'll be for another day. Some people would say it would be lovely to have Iran free and have a free government there, and Israel able to do what it likes and take more land. I don't know. There'll always be trouble there, I think. I don't know. Anyway, folks, 12 minutes. I didn't do too bad. Have I brought you up to speed? Good luck. Thank you.